Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video we have some very important news to talk about on Bitcoin, and I'm very excited to bring you guys this video because, as you know, Bitcoin hasn't really been doing a whole lot over the last 30 days or so. In fact, we have been trading sideways, moving right, I got my left and right mixed up, moving right into a consolidation pattern which we have been talking about for the last several weeks, and in today's video, Bitcoin has finally broken above it. This is huge news because Bitcoin had two major resistance levels that it needed to break above. Number one, a downtrending level of resistance on the daily chart for Bitcoin. Number two, $11,200. We've broken above that downtrending level of resistance. We have not broken above that flat level of resistance at the time of recording this video, but we're about to talk about why I think that's going to happen and why I think volatility and bullishness is coming back to the space very, very soon. We have a lot of technical analysis and news to get into in today's video. I think you're really going to enjoy today's video. If you do, as always, consider hitting that like and subscribe button, and without much further ado, guys, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Alright guys, before we get started, I do want to mention one thing, and that is that the sale on the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy will be ending tomorrow. If you guys are interested in getting in here, learning everything you need to know about technical analysis and trading so that you can profit in these markets, I highly encourage you to check us out at the link in the description down below. Bitcoin's moving into a bull market, and you don't want to miss these potentials for profit, so make sure you check us out. Use coupon code SweaterWeather2020 at checkout for $40 off. But let's go ahead and get right into the video. Guys, as you probably saw yesterday, Bitcoin started breaking north above that downtrending level of resistance that we just showed you, and I want to go ahead and break down what exactly this means for Bitcoin and where Bitcoin might be heading from here. We have a lot to get into, so let's jump onto the chart. One thing I want to address before we even get into the video is the question that I know we're going to get in the comment section, and that is, why are we so excited about $430 worth of price action? I mean, come on, Jeb, Bitcoin moves 4% all the time. The reason this is very important is because Bitcoin has just broken the consolidation pattern that was forcing that low volatility that we were seeing. As you guys can see, I have all of this junk here on my chart from a video I was going to make about this more recently, but I had a feeling Bitcoin would break out, so I went ahead and saved it. You can see all of these circled areas right here were where Bollinger Bands got very, very constricted. They were seeing low volatility. Bitcoin wasn't doing much. Notice, they happen in a very much reoccurring fashion, about 30 to 90 days apart. In between these two periods was 32 days, roughly. That was a pretty short period, and in between this one, there were 90 days, roughly. In general, every 3 months, Bitcoin is going to see a period of low volatility followed by a period of high volatility. Guys, I've been preaching this for the last month. I've been saying Bitcoin is not seeing much volatility right now, and that's an indication that relatively soon we are going to see volatility return, and that's exactly what's happening. Because even in more recent memory, we can see that Bitcoin had very low volatility on the bands right here, and we had this massive crash. Now we're seeing very low volatility on the bands, and guess what's happening? Bitcoin is breaking north out of the consolidation pattern exactly the way we said it would. So we've broken our downtrending level of resistance, which is the wrong shade of red, and now we're pushing up to this very important level of resistance at $11,200. The reason that this level is significant, and about to be more precise, $11,171 on the Coinbase chart anyway, is because that's our recent high over here. Bitcoin needs to be setting higher highs. We have very, very specific higher lows. Bitcoin has a strong uptrend supporting it. However, at the moment anyway, we still, technically speaking, have a downtrend because Bitcoin has not broken that high. That is what we need to see happen next. Bitcoin has broken this downtrending level of resistance right here, but we need to break that one as well. You could even argue it's a flat level, again, at $11,171. Guy, I don't know how to... Anyway, you get the point. So what this means for Bitcoin is that we are in prime territory for a new rally to start, because if you guys hadn't already noticed, we are in a bull market. We've confirmed that through a plethora of different technicals. We've talked about the 20 weekly EMA and how we're above that. We've talked about how the 20 weekly EMA crossed above the 50 weekly SMA a few months ago. That was very bullish. We've talked about how we were post-halving. We've talked about how the stock-to-flow ratio is going up, which, by the way, if you guys have ever read this book, The Bitcoin Standard, you're going to see this book again in a video we're doing relatively soon. In that book, one of the very first things Cephadian talks about is stock-to-flow ratios on things like copper, gold, silver, grain, fiat currencies. Bitcoin has a very important metric you need to pay attention to. It's called stock-to-flow, and it is looking very bullish right now post-halving. Anyway, back to the topic at hand, we also need to pay attention to Bitcoin's volume, and you're going to notice that Bitcoin's volume isn't very high right now. We did see a slightly higher volume candle right here, but that hasn't really turned into a whole lot yet because we've only been breaking out for the last 2 days. We have seen continuously declining volume for the last month, and what that means is that yes, we are in a consolidation pattern, and yes, we are waiting for volatility to return. It looks like that volatility is now starting to return. On top of that, if you guys have been paying attention to your moving averages, you'll notice that as of yesterday, we are well and truly above the 20 daily EMA. Another good sign. So our next price target, our next goal is to get above $11,200, set a new higher high, put an uptrend in motion, and then start attracting retail investors back into the space. And I very much think that's going to happen. Let me tell you why. You guys have probably heard about Brian Armstrong over at Coinbase shutting down some of the social justice things going on in his company and giving severance packages to those that would like to leave because of it. Him, Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, and Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey have been getting into it as of late, and we see some more news coming from Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Square, also. Now, you can't ever really tell for sure what causes a breakout on Bitcoin, but this is very likely to be what caused this one on top of the technical landscape that we just talked about. Square, the payments company helmed by Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey, announced Thursday it has purchased 4,709 Bitcoins of $50 million investment, representing only 1% of the firm's total assets. Two things on this. One, I didn't realize Square had $5 billion of cash on hand. Shout out to Square. Good job. Wow. Props. Entrepreneur. Like, cool. I wish I had $5 billion of cash on hand. But number two, there's a big reason why this is important. And the reason it's important is because Square is a payment processor headed by Jack Dorsey. If you don't understand why that's so important, let me break it down for you. Number one, Jack Dorsey is the CEO of one of the top 5, at least top 10 most important social media platforms that has ever existed in the history of the internet, Twitter. So to see a name like that getting behind Bitcoin and allowing and probably being the one to instigate, to be honest with you, a major purchase in Bitcoin is a huge, huge step forward for Bitcoin adoption and sentiment and trust in our space. And number two, on top of that, remember, especially a company as big as Square that apparently has $5 billion of cash on hand, they are going to not only be helmed by their CEO. The CEO has the final say, but if they purchase $50 million worth of Bitcoin, I guarantee you Jack Dorsey didn't do it without support from his team within that company. And what that means is that Square, a payment processing company dealing mainly in fiat currency, is buying Bitcoin because they have trust in it, and that is a very good sign because these companies, payment processors, if they of all people understand the future for Bitcoin as being at the very least digital gold and at best a digital currency that the entire world will use, that is a huge, huge deal. Not to mention, 4,700 Bitcoin were bought up, taken out of circulation, and increasing the market capitalization. Let's go ahead and read a couple of these bullet points right here because this is really cool, guys. Square believes that cryptocurrency is an instrument of economic empowerment and provides a way for the world to participate in a global monetary system, which aligns with the company's purpose. We believe that Bitcoin has the potential to be a more ubiquitous currency in the future, says Square CFO. For a company that is building products based on a more inclusive future, this investment is a step on that journey. This is what I meant about other heads at that company being on board. This was not just Jack Dorsey's decision. This is the CFO saying this. Guys, let me break this down for you because I want to wrap this video out not with short-term technical analysis, but with long-term technical analysis that justifies the short-term technical analysis we've already done. Square buys $50 million worth of Bitcoin. Let me just say all of this without any context, without any commentary. You tell me in the comment section down below what you think about this. Square buys 4,700 Bitcoin at $50 million. MicroStrategy buys $425 million worth of Bitcoin. And by the way, MicroStrategy is a significantly smaller company than Square. Their revenue is only about $425 million. They basically just put all of their revenue into Bitcoin for a year. Okay, so we have two big names in finance purchasing a lot of Bitcoin. Now, how about this also? KuCoin gets hacked and $200 million are stolen. Oh, and by the way, it's not just KuCoin. BitMEX comes under federal indictment, and all of the Bitcoin from Mt. Gox is hopefully being returned to its rightful owners, and they might dump it on the market. So what would you expect to happen with all this news? You would think, maybe Bitcoin pulls back, maybe it trades sideways, I'm not really sure. It broke out. That's the cool thing. How about that? Good job, Bitcoin. We broke bullish, guys. I need you to understand, there is very good news in the market, there is very bad news in the market. Bitcoin's trading sideways, everything being equal, Bitcoin could have very easily broken to the downside, but what did it do? It broke north because the technicals and the fundamentals, as we've been saying for the last several weeks, are strong, and I want you guys to understand that. There is something big coming to Bitcoin, and I don't want you to miss it. So make sure you are informed on what's going on Bitcoin, and we're going to do our best to make sure that that happens here on the Crypto Jeb channel. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do that. Hit that post notification bell so you'll be updated every time a new video goes live. And we have a pretty cool video coming relatively soon. Won't tell you much more about that, but you'll see it this weekend. Guys, before we wrap it out, I do want to mention the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy because, as you guys know, CT2A is the one-stop shop to learn everything you need to know about technical analysis so that you can trade and profit in these markets. Right now, especially with Bitcoin moving into a new rally, moving into a new uptrend, moving into a season of volatility and growth, you need more than ever to understand how to trade Bitcoin properly. CT2A was designed to be a masterclass to teach you everything from the very basics all the way up to the very advanced concepts that I myself have learned over working in this market for thousands of hours over the course of 3 years. We've uploaded over 900 videos to this channel, and I've been working in the space every day since July 31st, 2017, when I first got involved. I've learned a lot about technical analysis in that time, and everything I know I have put into this academy. And as I've always said, guys, the #1 investment you will ever make is not an investment in Bitcoin. It's not an investment in Ethereum. It's not an investment in anything monetary. The best investment you will ever make is an investment in yourself. So I encourage you guys, use the coupon code SweaterWeather2020 at checkout to get $40 off on the Academy. That's going to help you in that journey. That's specifically why we designed it. That sale will be ending tomorrow, so I encourage you, go ahead and hop on in and make sure you guys get active in the Academy. We have some massive things coming to the channel over the next couple of months, guys. I'm really excited for it. Get hyped about it. Tell me in the comment section down below if you enjoyed today's video. Hit that subscribe button, hit the post notification bell, share the URL with people, you know, just let people know about the video. I thought it was a pretty cool video. Let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. Anyway, guys, that is going to wrap it out for today's video. Before I go, though, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.